Dios es madridista. Dios es del Madrid. El que nos ha hecho a todos es del Madrid. Lleva la camiseta del Madrid. Lleva el escudo del Madrid. No os enfrentéis más. Aceptadlo. Aceptadlo, hermanos. De verdad. Aleluya. Dios es madridista. Aleluya, hermanos. Dios es del Real Madrid. No hay nada que hacer. Nuestro Dios es Dios. Puedes combatir contra los millones, puedes combatir. Dios es madridista. Y como tiene más sentido del humor que nadie, evidentemente, pues a veces juega con estas cositas de decir, bueno, pues venga, 2 goles en 15 minutos, venga.
I do want to congratulate Kylian Mbappe for being such a legend tonight. What Mbappe has been able to do has been historic. Kylian Mbappe literally left PSG to help PSG go to the semifinals of the Champions League this season. It looked almost impossible for PSG to go into the semifinals over the past few years. And now, PSG are now here in the semifinals of the Champions League, and that is because Mbappe left the club. What a legend. And now, Mbappe went to Real Madrid and has now rejected Real Madrid to go to the semifinals of the Champions League this season. I speak for everybody within the PSG fan base to say thank you, Kylian Mbappe, for being such a legend. With Mbappe now leaving PSG look much more of a team than ever before. I mean, it all made sense, right? For Mbappe to go to a team like Real Madrid, it was the better fit. We all talked about last year how if Mbappe were to join the Champions League winning Real Madrid side last summer, Real Madrid are just going to continue to dominate Europe for the 2024-2025 season. Everybody was ready for that. Everybody had the right predictions. Real Madrid were going to get even better with Mbappe getting added to this squad. So everybody was going to win. PSG was going to get better. Real Madrid were also going to get better and improving. What a move, man. Like the fact that Kylian Mbappe is almost 27 years old, the amount of Champions Leagues he has already won at this point, it is insane. For sure, he's gonna go down as one of the GOATs of Real Madrid. As for Vinicius, I'm very happy with Vinicius because when I saw Vinicius perform against Arsenal, I'm like, bro, you scored a golazo against Arsenal in the second leg. The way that he was able to dribble through 4 to 5 different players, the way that Madrid outplayed Arsenal and their midfield and their defense, that all led up to Vinicius scoring a beautiful goal, and the comeback was on. Vinicius kept his word. He did state that after he won the Ballon d'Oro over Rodri a couple of months ago, that he was going to get even better and he wanted to double his numbers. And here we are. Vinicius is showcasing why he got even better post Ballon d'Oro. Vinicius is unstoppable. He is the best left winger in the world. There is no other Brazilian player, at the very least in La Liga, that can be a better left winger than him. Vinicius has it all. Then I do want to speak about Bellingham, another player that did show up against Arsenal. Bellingham tonight showcased why he was the best England midfielder in the world. It wasn't Declan Rice. It wasn't any other English midfielder at the moment. It was Bellingham. Bellingham was the one that scored 2 free kicks in the first leg and continued to show dominance in the second leg at the Santiago Bernabeu. It's almost as if Real Madrid should have never played Arsenal. It was too easy of a game. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. Like, I was wrong. I was wrong from the very beginning of this season. I knew that in the way that football works, you have to sign the best players in the world to become the best team in the world. I was wrong because I always thought that it was about the system and not having the best players in the world. It was just all about signing big stars that eventually leads towards big success. I don't know what I was talking about. I thought that FC Barcelona, because they had the better system and a better coach and overall better academy, that we were going to be able to overcome all teams, surpass Real Madrid, and go to the semifinals of the Champions League. And you know what's so funny? It's the fact that it's the fact that everybody was thinking right before before these 2 legs were being played. I mean, the second leg was about to get played. Everybody was thinking that Real Madrid were going to make a comeback over Arsenal after going down 3-0 in the first leg, and that Barcelona were going to bottle the 4-0 lead. I'm like, bro, what? No way. But it ended up coming true. Barcelona bottled the 4-0 lead. Real Madrid made a comeback against Arsenal. Everybody that was talking about this before the second leg, they were right. I can't believe it, right? I was wrong and everybody else was right. Maybe I should just be humble. Just like Erling Haaland said, right? Erling Haaland said, be humble to Arteta. And now look, fast forward a couple of months later, Erling Haaland and Man City are in the semifinals of the Champions League, and Arsenal are not in the semifinals of the Champions League. It is so funny.
So now let's talk about FC Barcelona. I'm actually really happy to see that FC Barcelona will be facing Inter Milan in the semifinals of the Champions League. Very interesting. I do think that there's a lot of history between Inter and Barcelona. It's always going to be an exciting match. Barcelona are usually the protagonist in these games, mainly because Barcelona's philosophy is all about the attack, and Inter Milan, their pride is based off the best defensive game. So it's going to be like a immovable object against a unstoppable force. I cannot wait to see this match. I'm not going to say that it's going to be easy, but it's definitely a game that we can win, but a lot of difficulties is going to be coming with it. The last time Barcelona faced Inter Milan was back on October 12, 2022, where Barcelona tied against Inter Milan 3-3. The game before that one, which was the first leg, and this was of course under Xavi Hernandez, we lost against Inter Milan 1-0. So the last time Barcelona won against Inter Milan was back in 2019, December 10th. It has been a very long time, and Barcelona won 2-1 away from home. They actually won both legs in that same season. 2-1 in the first leg and then 2-1 yet again in the second leg, and grand total of 4-2 on aggregate, which was really fun to see. But fast forward up until today, it's a much different FC Barcelona squad, a team that is more vertical, more high intensity, more active, very high risk, high reward, but it works. And we'll see how Barcelona go up against that, because Inter Milan is one of the best defensive teams in the world. So it's a high goal scoring team like Barcelona versus one of the best defensive teams in Europe. I honestly did not want to face Bayern Munich again because we have already faced Bayern, and I think that this season does feel a little repetitive because the amount of times Barcelona faced Atletico Madrid, Benfica, Real Madrid, it has been a lot. And you're telling me that we're going to face Bayern Munich again after already facing them and beating them 4-1? I did not want that. I wanted a different, I would say just a different opponent, something to really tackle that does feel new. And Inter Milan is the perfect one. So in my opinion, in the way that I want things to go moving forward would be like, okay, first of all, make sure that no player ever does get fatigue, okay? Because we have a lot of games coming up. And the one thing that we have to take care of is not overloading these players within these next 5 to 6 weeks. If Rafinha feels fatigue, take him out. If Lewandowski feels fatigue, take him out. If Lamine Yamal gets fatigued, take him out, okay? Because we don't want to have these players fatigued on the pitch and then eventually get an injury. We don't want that. We don't want Rafinha to be out for like 2 weeks or Lamine Yamal to be out for a week. None of this is going to be making any sense, because if we force any of these players to play while feeling tired, like hell no, dude, like sit that player down. I don't care if we need that player because we're 1-0 down or like it's 2-2 and we needed a goal. No, we cannot afford any more injuries. On the bright side, Dani Olmo just came back, so we should expect to see Dani Olmo in the number 10 position again. And if you look at the frequency of the amount of games we're going to be playing over the next couple of weeks, let's start with April 19th. Later this week on Saturday, Celta Vigo. 2 days later, we're already in the next match against Mallorca on Tuesday, April 22nd. 4 days later, we're facing Real Madrid for the final. You see how like every game really does matter. And then we have Inter Milan on April 29th, only 3 days later, which will be played on Tuesday. Then Real Valladolid on May 4th, which will be on Sunday. I do think that's going to be our biggest gap, but then comes 2 days later. 2 days later, my friends, we face Inter Milan, which is on May 6th, and then going back against Real Madrid on May 11th, which I believe is going to be very important for us and in La Liga, because I don't know if Madrid are going to drop points or Barcelona are going to be dropping points. That game is going to be very definitive. And so let me know in the comment sections down below, what do you think about this tie between the 4 teams? And yes, over the past like 9 minutes or 10 minutes of this video, I was being sarcastic. Everything that I was saying was the complete reverse of what I believed. I am so happy to see that Arsenal went through, because they deserved it, because they play great football. They play very conservative. I would say that they really do emulate what Xavi Hernandez brought to Barcelona, but overall they look really, really decent. And I'm pretty excited to see PSG versus Arsenal. We'll see what Dembele can do against one of the best left backs in the world, which Arsenal do have, by the way. We'll see how Saka goes up against Mendes, right? PSG have great fullbacks as well. Mendes and Hakimi, they have been one of the stars against Aston Villa. So let me know in the comment sections down below, who do you believe is going to be in the final of the Champions League this season? My early prediction is going to be Barcelona versus Arsenal, a classic match. I believe the last time Barcelona and Arsenal played in the final was in 2006. So I cannot wait. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.